All right, folks. You and the horse you rode in on, right? You and the horse you rode in on. Just whenever first of all, let's tell people how to get in touch with the show. It's 8:25 this morning, and it's 68 degrees already in LJ, Georgia here, 8:25. It says there on the clock. That's our phone number right there on the screen, 24/7 number, 706-889-9700. And there is Chief at FetcherNews.com. And all the social media ways you can follow us. You can call that number at any time. Text us at that number anytime. We appreciate it. So moving right along, I don't know what the status of the lawsuits are. We watched this guy and the biggest media takedown it was at Gadsden, Alabama. And supposedly this guy was cruising the mall record shops, and he wasn't allowed in certain places, and he worked in the DA's office, or he was the DA, and he liked these young girls. He was working the trailer park scene, whatever, right? Remember this? What's going on with the lawsuits? I don't know. You got the picture of this guy and the horse he rode in on? There he is. Roy Moore riding back into town. There he is. There's his horse, Trigger. Roy and Trigger headed into town. Roy's come to tell the town folk he gonna run again for the Senate. Folks, I'm here to let you know I plan to run to be your next Alabama senator. What is he, 78 or something already? Now, this is not the Roy Moore takedown segment. This is the media did that. Now, if you go back, the attack on this man was relentless, and obviously has not fulfilled. I mean, the media, as soon as this election was over, the poor young ladies that Roy trolled at the coffee shops, the little young waitresses that had their summer jobs, 16 years old. He said, little girl, I just rode my horse in here. I'd like a piece of that lemon meringue pie over there and your phone number. Why, Roy, you're 20 years older than me. It don't matter. I got a nice car. I can get you home to the trailer park. I know, I understand. But, this was the attack on Roy and the horse he rode in on. GOP candidate expects Roy Moore to announce Senate bid in June. It's expected, all right? Roy Moore hasn't jumped into the 2020 Alabama Senate race, okay? Hasn't jumped into the Alabama Senate race contest yet, but one potential GOP rival is already welcoming him into the race. Now, that being said, let me say this. It must be on good authority that Roy there and Trigger getting ready to ride across Alabama, and because Trump is weighed in and has sent Roy a very firm message. So this is a tweet this morning from the President of the United States approximately 48 minutes ago. Republicans, Donald J. Trump, Republicans cannot allow themselves to again lose the Senate seat in the great state of Alabama. This time it will be for 6 years, not just 2. I have nothing against Roy Moore, and unlike many other Republican leaders, wanted him to win. He wanted him to win. He wanted him to beat Doug Jones. You remember Trump, gave a little push there to Roy and wanted him to win. But he didn't and probably won't, okay? Roy didn't win and probably won't. That being said, if Alabama does not elect a Republican to the Senate in 2020, many of the incredible gains that we have made during my presidency may be lost, including our pro-life victories. Roy Moore cannot win, and consequences will be devastating. Judges and Supreme Court justice. Roy Moore cannot win from Donald J. Trump about 50 minutes ago. So, Roy, President Trump said you need to put Trigger back in the barn, go on back in the house, brew you up another pot of coffee, cruise through the trailer park, whatever you want to do this afternoon. But the one thing he does not want you doing is running for senator of Alabama. He gave you your shot last time. Unlike, Mitch McConnell. Remember all the Republicans turned on Roy and Trigger as he was riding into town? Remember that? They all turned on him. But Trump stayed behind the guy because he knew what a good media attack consists of. So he stayed behind the guy because he wanted the Republican to win. But guess what? He didn't win, and that's what Trump's saying, and you lost your shot. And it won't be hard to get rid of Doug Jones, but I don't know that Roy Moore is the candidate to get rid of Doug Jones for Senate. And I don't know that Roy Moore, nothing personal, I hope all of his lawsuits, or all of the investigations clear up for him. But I don't think he needs to be the future senator of Alabama. My thing with Alabama right now, my prayer is that Richard Shelby would actually retire too. Okay? And I think it would be great if Alabama had two conservative Republicans, not a Democrat, Doug Jones, that's nothing conservative about him, and Richard Shelby that might as well be a Democrat on some days. So that's all I have to say about Alabama right now. Roy, put Trigger back in the barn.